property rights to you is that you talked about a river. There's a river on your property, correct? And so you own that. And there should be no regulation or rules or anything that govern that, correct?
Is that your question? There should be
no I'm just setting the premise.
This one?
So my question is, if you're on a river and the people all up the river, they consider that their water, how can you consider it yours?
Okay, thank you.
If they put a dam up.
But the river was on my property. You didn't say the river was on their property.
Well, if it's in a river, it's a river. You know what a river is.
But
It
you're
goes
saying-
from here to there.
But a river starts and ends. It could start and end on my property.
You didn't specify that.
So what's your question?
My question
State the
is-
question very clearly, and then Joe, you have to repeat it, okay?
My question is, if you believe the water, the river is yours, what about the people that are upriver that also own part of the river or the property that the river flows over?
Right.
What makes you think that you, I mean, what part of the river do you
Right.
own? If they can put a dam in,
Right.
it shuts your water off.
Okay.
Okay, so can you repeat that as
Yeah.
best you
So
can?
so the question is, how can I claim to own a river that's somebody else is laying a claim to, that also the river's on their property as well as my property? Well, one, I never asserted that to begin with, and second, I own the river that's on my property. Either I've purchased that or I've homesteaded the use of that river. Now, since I've homesteaded the use of that river because I'm fishing out of it and I'm doing these things, then I've homesteaded the use. That is now my property. So now if you dam up that river upstream and it causes me not to be able to fish, which I set up my property rights through that homesteading principle, then you've just violated my property rights. Now what I can't do is I can't do the same to you. I can't violate your section of the river either. So
if I violate your section of the river, how do you force me to change?
So if you violated my property rights, how do I?
In your mind.
If there's a how do I resolve that? How do I resolve the fact that you violated my property rights?
But you think I violated.
Well, I established how that I homesteaded that river. I've established property rights, and if you dammed it, I've clearly established the fact that you violated them. Now, I walk over to you because if you're my neighbor, I would, and since we do agree that we're all social animals, I would hope that that we have some type of social interaction that's peaceful. So I would initially walk over and I would let you know that what you did, and I can no longer fish. Now, if you told me to pack sand and go back over to my property, then I would go out because you have just created a need in the market for a dispute resolution organization, which the market can provide you. So I would go to one of those dispute resolution organizations and I would file a complaint against you. And then I would turn that over to the dispute resolution organization in order to get you to come in and to comply with that, because you clearly violated my property. Does that answer your question?
Okay.
Well, tough. Okay. Well, now you're saying that's an initiation of force. So now I'm allowed to defend myself. So you've initiated force against me by violating my property. So now you've allowed me to come down and use retaliatory action to tear down your dam in order to restore my property rights. So,
okay, that answers the question. We can't go back and forth.
I mean, you might not think so, but tell me why.
Well, no, we can't do that. I'm sorry, Joe. I'd love to have back and forth conversations, but we need a week for it.